Welcome back, everybody. This is your host of the Is It Isekai podcast. One half of it, anyway. One half of the hosting. Jim Jam with another anime review for you. This is a new season here, the fall season of 2024, and we got another anime that made it to our list. As you can see behind me, it is the Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor. Very, very literal, because the princess is reincarnated and the emperor is the dragon, has a dragon. Very good in this storyline. It's great. It reminds me right off the bat of the 7-time loop. Villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. Because once again, the princess is reincarnated and marries their worst enemy from a previous life. Not 7 times, as in the aforementioned anime. Not in this one. There's only one so far in this one. But she reincarnated, got her powers, and met some of the people from the previous timeline. So still yet to see how many times she gets reincarnated. That would be a nice little twist there at the last episode. She dies again and ends up getting reincarnated. But it's very similar to that anime, and I do love the 7-time loop, and I'm loving this one so far. It's very interesting how the powers stay from previous life. She's like super strong from before. She was like the demon general or something in that previous life. Oh boy, we're not even gonna. Should we even touch on the topic? Yeah, this is gonna be semi-spoilery because I'm just reviewing the first episode, so the previous time loop was kind of, little incest going on there with the previous prince. But anyway, she avoids it this time by marrying the prince of the emperor, technically, of a different land, who has a very sad story. We don't know a lot of what's going on so far with his backstory, except for that he was like the son of a concubine with the previous emperor, and then he was behind a long list of other princes that were supposed to take the throne, and they all ended up dying, and somehow he became the emperor. So that's kind of weird, because he said he has nothing to do with it, so it could be just bad luck in general. Whoa, what's going on? So there's interesting stuff going on there with that particular part of it. Why are these princesses dying in the first place? Huh? This is a series of fortunate accidents. He just cruises right up to in line for the throne. He was like 8 or something, or eighth in line, and all the previous ones, or the ones before him, the older ones died. So now he's the emperor, and then he has a dragon that hasn't been seen for a while, which is interesting. The dragon god, which our main character Jill, the reincarnated princess, she can see it as well. So there's some like destiny thing going on there, some kind of like oracle thing going on there, destined to be that they should be together. We have no idea why, and it comes to find out the emperor is trying to look for a specific age. So if he has somebody that's a potential princess or wife of his, then he will ask their age, and if they're too old, then it doesn't. So we have no idea what's going on there. That's still up in the air. We just know that she died and was reincarnated, and her ex-husband from the previous life is in love with his sister, which, if you know anything about royalty back in the day of the Knights of the Round and all that stuff, there's a lot of incest going on. It was quite normal, so they kind of kept in line with that tradition in this anime. Very weird. Also very strange that the dragon god can't be seen by everybody, which is interesting as well. Right now, we are loving the animation style. Let's just say that right now. Nothing too much to say about the opening ending, but the animation style is amazing. Also kind of weird that they don't put all the faces on all the background characters, like the soldiers and stuff. We don't fill their whole face in for some reason. You don't really get an example of it here in the trailer, because everybody has a face, because they are a main character, but the soldiers and stuff are missing faces. You can hear them talking, but can't see their mouth moving. They don't have like eyes and stuff. So they cheaped out on the animation budget there with that, which I've seen before in my many years of watching anime, but I haven't seen it recently, so that's very, very interesting. It still looks great, though, the other animation parts of it and the rest of their face, even though they don't have eyes and mouths or whatever, kind of have a nose. It's interesting. Also, the fact that it's a very wide spectrum, because the one kingdom where she's from did have magic, or does have magic, a lot of magical abilities, magical weapons, but the emperor is from a land where they don't normally have magic, except for the emperor that's chosen by the dragon god, which is interesting. So the emperor is super OP. Everybody else is in the kingdom is not really, because most of them don't have magic. So that part is interesting. Of course, she has magic, being a princess from the magic land, and just ridiculously strong, but she is only like 10 or something like that. I don't even know. I'm not trying to focus on that. The point is, it's not very ecchi because he's not trying to do anything creepy with her, so that's pretty cool. But it is made known in the anime that she is quite young for engaged or married. I don't know if they're married yet or just engaged. We're just gonna skip past that part. Anyways, she acts like an adult, and everybody like, okay, and then she's really strong already off the bat. Nobody knows she's reincarnated. She doesn't really understand it herself. We don't, as viewers, don't know what's going on, why she was reincarnated. We do know why she died, but it was just, that was gross too. So there's a lot of different things going on, a little incest and a little pedo going on. So yeah, that, okay. We're gonna excuse those parts for now, because nothing specifically, it's been alluded to, but nothing specifically has happened yet. So yeah, okay. Hopefully he's not a lolly. We'll just make sure. We're gonna say the emperor is not a lolly. Okay. So dragon god, pretty cool. Rave, good character design for Rave, the dragon god. He's pretty cool. He's all white and just flies around. Magical dragon that only the Emperor and Jill can see. For some reason, we haven't understood that. I said that before, but that is very crucial, that Rave has been around for thousands of years, just flying around waiting for an emperor that could see him, and that's a big deal. And maybe that's why all the preceding emperors died before Rave became the emperor. We'll assume that kind of sorta. Yeah, that's what happened. And the dragon god had nothing to do with that. We'll make that assumption. But anyways, there's like a prophecy going on that the emperor can see the dragon, and he'll find a wife that can see the dragon. So that's pretty cool. This is why he's doing that. And he very clearly states that he has no experience with women, so that's why he's a little bit weird. And he seems to be pretty cool. So from her previous life, when she flashes back to him, when she actually meets him, he's like a super over-the-top killer, tries to invade her homeland, but we don't see any of that now. So it's interesting to see what happens in the meantime. And now she's kind of reliving a predicament where she wasn't there before and something bad happened in the Dragon Kingdom, but now she's there and she prevents it. So hopefully that changes the timeline a little bit. Like I said, I'm very interested to see how many times she dies in this anime and gets reincarnated. But it's going well so far, and I really enjoy it. Liking it very much. Not going to beat my not going to beat my ranking for Seventh Time Loop, which we hope is getting a second season. I think I heard that anyway. But this is another one add to the mini reincarnation, not even a full reincarnation. This is, say, like a time loop. Time loop anime, not a reincarnation anime, time loop anime, because they're not going all the way back to a baby, they're not going into a different body, so it's not really reincarnation. Time loop, we're gonna say time loop anime. We're naming it time loop animes now. They're in there. Seventh Time Loop, and now Do Over Damsel. Very good. Watch both of them, even though this wasn't really a review for Seventh Time Loop. I'm just included it in there because we didn't do this back then, but it's going to be a thing now. Hopefully a second season I can review that. But I'm liking the time loop animes. Free to here, talking about you. That's it for now. This is Jim Jam, one half of Is It Isekai podcast. Most of the time, new episodes come out every Tuesday. We were doing so well, and of course, as you can see, we missed a week, but we will be back as soon as possible. But in the meantime, hopefully you enjoyed these reviews and also the spoiler warning series. If you like them, comment below. Let me know what you think of Do Over Damsel and also of Seven Time Loop. Hopefully both of these get a second season. Liking it so far. And are you wondering how many time loops she's going to go through here before she gets her story straight or whatever? And what's going on with the Emperor and who are all these different dragons that are popping up here. And he's just tanking them all over him. I said I wasn't going to talk about the second episode, but it's out. And he's, just in command of all the dragons and wyverns and dragon-type beasts out there. Well, we'll see. But you'll catch these reviews and spoiler warnings as I record them and put them out on the YouTube channels. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button on there. Please, por favor, and thank you. That is all for now. Bye.